Um,
or Linnell. Diana's not gonna be able to make it in tonight. She's at an in-person event, so she can't hop on. Elliot, you there? Oh yeah, okay. Okay, thanks, dear. Appreciate it. Cool. And then LB, what do we have for today? Like, Linnell, did they flag any calls? Anything that we can listen to?
yes, we can check on the call calibration list.
All right. So we have Jose in here. I want to do a call from Jose because from our call center, and then if you have one for Bagu, let's listen to that because she had some good calls today. So I'm excited to hear some of those. I think we're gonna have a light crowd tonight because it's MLK Day, so a lot of people are taking that bank holiday. They're taking the day off. So we got our diehards in here tonight. While we're loading up some calls, does anybody have any questions or anything that they wanted to go over?
Sorry, Chad, can you hear me? I'm driving.
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So, I had an interesting situation today happen. You probably will hear it. It was the second call, and it was a vacant property, and it's been vacant for many years, and it needed to be demolished. And the question that the gentleman asked me is like, do you take properties that need to be demolished? And I just said our property specialist will get back to him soon on that. And then I asked him other things, but I was just curious for myself, like, do you guys take properties that need to be demolished on or not? I was just curious about that. And then the second one was
those. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
We run into them from time to time. It's not like the ideal lead, but it is still real estate. So land value.
Okay.
We look at the area, and then we'll act accordingly based off of that and what the details are. Usually, when it's a house that needs to be demoed, there's usually a story to it, and there's probably usually other things going on as well. So it's a case by case basis on those.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I knew it would be case by case, but I didn't know if you guys took them on or not, or you guys.
Yeah. Well, because here's
put them to somebody else, so I wasn't sure.
That's the point right there. That's the great. You hit the nail on the head. So even if it's a property that we're not interested in, doesn't mean that there's not somebody that might be interested in it, right? So a good acquisitions team, their job is to find the opportunities, find the bunnies, figure out what's going on, and how can we work this deal. And then even if it's not a deal that we're going to do, who can we give it to, right? Who can we give it to? And maybe it's a deal that they like and that they want to do.
Good. Hi, I'm Perry. Jackie and I are sort of new to this. I'll just warn you, like in our neighborhood, you got to be careful because a lot of the houses are on wells and septics. And there are some that are dilapidated because they never either put in a proper septic or a proper well. And now with the health code restrictions, there isn't enough lot space to do that. So like even a builder, if they were going to come in and put a new house on, they couldn't exactly do that on a pre-existing non-conforming lot because they don't have the wells and the septic. So you got to watch out for things like that.
Great point. Yeah, absolutely. That's a great point. That goes to the due diligence process, right? So then whoever's buying it, they need to check and make sure that they can do something like that. So what Perry, what does happen to those properties? Is anybody buying them, doing anything with them?
Usually the raccoons move in or a neighbor will buy it.
And then knock down the property and just make their lot.
Yeah. So like if a neighbor can buy it, right, and tie in their existing well or septic, then they can put another house on it, right? But if it's just a house where the lot isn't big enough, then a lot of times they fall into disrepair around here.
Got it. Yep. It
Yep.
happens, for sure. And that's Bagu, that's the part where usually when a house needs to be torn down, there's a story behind it. There's something going on,
Okay.
right?
Awesome.
You want to be
Thank-
careful. Yeah.
Yes.
But as far as like where you're at right now, like step one, are they interested in selling? If yes, cool, let's get the details, blah, blah, blah. Get it up to acquisitions. Their job is to figure out some of that. If they can't, then during dispositions, like usually some of that stuff comes to light. And people, some of the buyers will tell you, like let's say Perry was a buyer, he's like, yeah, I'd buy it, but not at this price, and here's why. Da 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 da. And then you look into it like, oh, now it makes sense. Now I get why this house is the way it is. Right? So
Yes.
that's the story part of it, right? There's always a story with these things.
Yeah, and adding on to that, it's even more important to get the story if a property or lot hasn't sold for a long time. There's a reason for that. We need to, like for any sale, but especially for property that's laid vacant for a long time. Right? We need the story.
Yeah. So there's a lot to this whole real estate thing, right? And you learn it as you go. And the more deals you do and calls you listen to and people you meet, and then the more experience you get. So yeah, absolutely. Cool. All right, guys. Linnell, do we have a call? If we do, whose is it? What are we listening to?
Oh, yes. I have here from Jose and Baguio.
Okay. All right, cool. Let's jump into it. Just I don't know which one you want to play. You can go ahead and pick one. We'll play it, calibrate, but we have enough time tonight to get through both. So, and audience, you guys know the drill. So we're going to listen to the call. We're going to have them give their own feedback, and then we're going to give feedback as to just what we caught and have a conversation about them.
Get started.
Hey. Hey, Manuel.
Yes. Mhm.
Yeah, this is Jose with the Home Buyers Network.
Uh,
Manuel,
Check
or
your settings. We can't hear it.
English for now.
English?
Or I can't hear it. Is it me or is it?
I can't hear it either.
You guys can't hear it either, right? Yeah.
It's like very low, but
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey. Hey, Manuel.
Yes. Mhm.
Yeah, this is Jose with the Home Buyers Network. ¿Habla español, Manuel, or English?
English for now.
English. Okay. Well, sir, I'm calling about your property at 837 Woodgrove Street. We are real estate investors. I just wanted to see if you had considered possibly selling.
Oh, I'm investor too.
Great. I mean, investor sells and buys properties. That's the business. I mean,
Yeah.
any
Right.
of yours that
Yeah.
you want to sell?
Right now I'm buying.
Right now, you want to buy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What kind of property are you looking to buy? Maybe we can find something for you.
Well, as long as some some values that I can have some exit strategies.
Exit strategies. What kind of exit strategies are you doing?
Uh, as as long as there's some good meat in the bone.
Perfect. Okay. Well, we do everything, man. We do fix and flips. We do Airbnb,
Mhm.
patch splits, a lot of stuff. I wanted to see if we can network with you. I mean, this is a
Sure.
people's business, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So
Do you have email or do you have website?
what is your website? Or do
Yeah,
you asking for our website?
Yeah, do you have email or do you just like website or
Yeah, you
how
can.
do you how?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. You can check at reiconveyorbelt.com. Okay.
REI.
REI Conveyor Belt.
Okay, can you text that to me?
REI Conveyor Belt.
Mhm.
Conveyor is CONVEYOR.
YOR, right?
Conveyor, yeah. Conveyor Belt.
BELT.
Mm-hmm. sir.
.com.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That's our company. There you can see the services we provide for all the real estate business. Okay, we are
Mm-hmm.
integrators. We have systems built to give you leads. Actually, I'm one of the
Mm.
virtual assistants with the company, and we are really good.
Oh, okay.
We are very well trained, and yeah, that's what we do. We generate leads. Could be a seller lead,
Mm-hmm.
a buyer lead, or could be an
Okay. So
investor
you
like
can,
you.
let's say, if I need, is it your VA? So if I, let's say, need some VA, how much do you charge?
That's something you will have to talk with our departments. I mean, because I do a lot of stuff, not only cold callings, but I do also lead manager stuff and appointment
I
setting.
see.
So
I see.
I'm quite, I'm in a specific position myself. But yeah, man, we
Okay.
have everything you will need really, and just I will be glad to set up an appointment so you can speak with one of our property specialists, and
Mm-hmm. Okay.
so
Sounds
and
good. Let me check out. Mm-hmm.
you can access the link and you can actually contact us yourself whenever you feel like also.
Okay. Okay. So REI conveyor belt.com,
REI
right?
Conveyor Belt. Yes, sir. REIConveyorbelt.com.
Okay. Okay. All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, man. No, appreciate it. Have a good day, sir.
Mhm.
Okay, so this was that call that you were talking about, Jose. Right? This was this one, correct?
yes, it's that one.
Yeah. So yes, that on that one, they are correct with the telling you to not give out the information that quickly in the call because we don't know what that guy's really all about. You know. In this situation, you just want to get his information and see his buy box and kind of what type of investment. Stay on that topic. Then, as a secondary thing, then as he's an investor, we're gonna mark him accordingly, and then we'll set up follow ups and go down that whole path with him. But good job, like good effort on the pivoting from trying to buy his house. He's like, I'm not really looking to sell, I'm looking to buy. And you're like, okay, awesome. You even acknowledged it perfectly. Right? You're like, awesome, cool. What are you looking to buy? Tell me a little bit more about what kind of investment properties you're looking for, and get that buy box from them. And then in the
Yeah.
cold call script, as you know, like the only company name we give out on a cold call is Home Buyers Network. We're part of the Home Buyers Network because look at this room. We are a network of home buyers, so we're not lying. We are part of the Home Buyers Network, a network of home buyers. Which company will buy his house? Do you know which company is going to buy his house, Jose?
No, we don't know.
You don't know because you know why? Because I don't know. I don't know either. It depends on what the situation is, and how are we buying it? Are we buying cash, creative? Whose lead is it? Like, there's a lot of variables. Are we even going to buy it? Are we going to wholesale it off? I don't know. So whatever answer we give, that's not going to be the answer that probably ends up being the case at title. So, Home Buyers Network, you did do a good job of dancing around the other topics, so that was nice. About like when he said, how much does it cost? Like, well, I don't know. There's different departments, different things. So similar to that, right? I'm going to be vague with it. Yeah.
Yeah, when he asked for the price, I say like, no, it's not.
Yeah, I know. You danced around it. You did good on that.
Yeah, thank you.
All right,
But
guys.
yeah, I shouldn't. Yeah, I should ask more on the topic, like you said.
Yeah, then you get to the
Not giving the information.
so that because like once you get his buy box, then it could have been like, oh, and how do you currently buy properties? Are you just buying them off of like wholesalers or off MLS or right? You can ease into the conversation, not just jump straight into, oh, all right, conveyor belt, that's who pays my check. So yeah, you should look them up. Because the thing is, if he's like on DNC and then he wants to be a troublemaker, then now he has the info and he can really easily send in a demand letter. And then now we have to it's a problem that we never get to if we don't even we don't give the information. People are too lazy to go find out. They'd rather just wait for another call where somebody's just going to volunteer and give them the information, and then go down that whole cat and mouse game that way, you know.
Yeah, it makes
Also,
sense. It's
guys, one thing that we're gonna do here, let me show you guys something real quick. So I'm gonna share my screen, show you guys something that y'all can all do very easily. As you're cold calling, you can literally just type in free DNC check, right? Go here, and there's all these companies here, right? I checked this one, it's not working for me. I don't know if it's just me or what, so I'll check a different one. I don't know if it's this one. Let's see here. So see this, look up DNC, do not call status. Okay. And then let's see the phone number, this guy. Okay. And then I don't know what the heck is this. I didn't submit anything, whatever. Something with the heart. Okay. National DNC, yes. It is on the national DNC there. Right. You guys see that?
yeah,
Yeah.
I see.
So that's why we don't necessarily want to go do that. You guys can all go and use that tool for free. Now, is that what's happening? Is that what, I don't know. We don't want to find out. That's the thing, right? So by the time you have a good legitimate first call with them, and then we do a follow-up call, like we're gonna figure it out as we go. Right? But within 1 minute of knowing, was he genuine or was he just trying to get information out of you so that he can send a demand letter and then start that whole process? I couldn't tell you. I don't have enough info at this point.
Yeah, it's better not to take that risk. Totally.
Exactly. Yeah, that's how we've avoided it for all this time, is by not even just not going down that path in the first place, honestly. So cool. All right. So anybody got feedback on that call? Anything I left out or didn't mention?
Yeah, on the call, Jose, I would think also you want to start thinking about the 70-30 rule. That means 70% of the time the seller or the prospect should be talking, and then you should be talking 30% of the time. On this call, I feel like it was flipped, and you were telling him everything about us, and we knew nothing about him. And that just comes from like oversharing. So one of the main things that they hammer here is address and redirect. So, you asked about the company. Yep, we're just, local home buyers looking to purchase some properties. So can you tell me what has you thinking about selling this? Or, revert back to wherever you were in the script. Because whoever is asking the questions is in control of the conversation. So I think keep that in mind. And then you'll start having the prospect or the seller open up a lot more on the calls.
Thank you, Alondra. Right on the spot. Great feedback.
Right. Anybody have any questions about that call or DNC or any of that side of the business? I will say this, it is an important part of it. So you guys definitely want to pay attention to that. And then the big thing that you want to listen for is very early in a call. If within the first minute they're asking you, who are you, where are you calling me from, what's your phone number, what's your email, what's your company name, what's your da 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 da. Once they start going into all those line of questioning, that's a red flag. So pump the brakes. Don't be eager to generate a lead. Don't try to convince them like what that we're a good company, or let me sell your house, or buy your house. You should sell your house to us. Let me buy your house. Just slow down and let them talk a lot. So to Ali's point, that's where we have to not say anything and let them say everything. Let them talk. We're going to shut down, and we're not. Because we're not desperate for leads here, right? We get plenty of leads. Our call center produces a tremendous amount of leads. That is not a problem for us at all. We just want to let people talk, because you can't learn about somebody if you're talking. You can only learn about somebody if they're talking and they're telling you.
Yeah,
But
listening.
the effort was great. Like, I really like the effort that you're trying to squeeze out everything you can from every call. Just, we're gonna tweak it a little bit so that you're doing it in the right order and the right process, you know? But good stuff.
Got it. Thank you, Chad.
Yeah.
Thank
good stuff.
you, Alondra, too.
So if it becomes a lead for REI conveyor belt, I'll let you know. And if it becomes a demand letter, I'll definitely let you know.
I hope not.
All right, good stuff, guys. All right, so if there's no questions about it, let's move on to our next call. Linnell, I think you had one for Bagu, right?
Yeah, Shad. I'll play it now.
Perfect, let's do it.
Hello.
Hello. Hi, my name is B, and I'm calling about your property on Holland Drive, and we're real estate investors. Wanted to see if you would consider selling.
What property are you talking about?
On Honda Drive.
Okay, I don't own that anymore. So take my number off your list.
Oh, okay. Do you have other properties that you own?
I do have another property that I own. If you got $700,000, you can have it.
For how much do you want for it?
If you got about $650,000, you can have that property.
Oh, what would you do with that $650,000?
Probably buy me another house and pay off my VA loan.
And pay off your VA loan. Oh, okay. And then, is it worth that much?
Oh, it was last time somebody offered me $550 for it, but I've added another 300 and some square foot to the house since then.
Since then, okay. And what did you specifically add on to it?
I extended the patio.
You extended the patio, okay. And then what's your time like in that you would, let's say you did get the amount that you wanted, what's your timeline like?
My timeline would be probably 2 to 3 months at tops.
2 to 3 months. How come that long, sir?
Say again?
How come 2 to 3 months?
I'm talking about for moving out and stuff, what I'm talking about.
Yeah, so moving out, you're talking about 60 to 90 days to move out.
Yeah.
Okay. And then why would you want to, what's the reasoning that you want a different property?
I really don't, but I get tired of people calling and asking me about the one I want, and so I give people the numbers that I will sell it for, and be done with it.
I'll be done with it. Okay. So the one that you do want to sell, what it?
My wife doesn't want to sell, and I'm feeling around 650. We probably could sell then.
Okay. So your wife doesn't want to sell, but you want to sell?
No.
No.
You know what? Yeah, I'll talk to you again some other time. I'm busy right now. Thank you.
I apologize for there was some kind of misunderstanding. I didn't.
That's it.
Okay. Okay, all right. Bagu, were you able to hear the call?
Yes, I was able to hear the call.
Okay, awesome. What do you, now that you're hearing it, what do you think? What's your feedback?
That my feedback is I realize I sound more like a robot, a little bit like question after question instead of like I heard you say like instead of like
Yeah, it's more of a survey than a conversation, basically.
yes. Yeah. And that's what I'm now that I'm listening to it, I was like, oh, okay.
Okay, yeah. Well, this is why I
So
listen to the calls, because when you're in the moment, it's a totally different feel than when you get to now sit back and hear yourself and hear him and hear all the little details in between. So this is exactly
yes,
why we do this. And this is, by the way, what's going to make you so much better, so much faster, is because as you are aware of this, right? Before you can fix something, you got to be aware of it, right? How are you going to fix
yeah,
something if you're completely oblivious to it? So now that it's hitting your radar and you're like, oh, okay, you're going to start cleaning it up. But okay, so more like a questionnaire than a conversation. Okay, no problem. So what else jumped out at you? Anything else that you saw or would have done differently or questions? The other thing that's helpful here is like as you're listening to calls, guys, you're going to be like, oh, I wish I would have asked this, or oh man, I should have asked the follow-up question right there, or whatever, right? So anything else jump out at you?
yes. I realized in the process, I was thinking about questions because I was hearing what he was saying. Some things made sense and some things didn't. But I wanted to. I realized I could have asked more, like sort of specific question, more open-ended question, and be
Yeah.
more curious and not be so specific.
Yeah,
And I
then
noticed I said a lot of ums and uhs and
well, I don't have too much of a problem with that, honestly. So funny story with like training the AI bots and stuff now, we're training them to say ums and ahs and things like that to make it more realistic. So it's funny because we humans want to be more, specific and precise, and we're having to train bots to be more human-like. And the best way to do that is add ums and ahs and stuff like that in there. So that's funny how the world works.
yeah. The other thing now I'm realizing by talking to you, I could have just been more relaxed. And I think Greg was telling me, let's just be curious about the person and then stay in curiosity mode. Because I realized I was tense and nervous and just because I know when I'm in curiosity mode, question I questions come easier than trying to figure out what's the next good question to ask.
Yes. Yes. That's all valid. Absolutely. Yeah. But it's tough in the beginning. So we'll give you some pointers and tips. But I'll tell you one thing, you sound a little bit more confident this week than last week. Like every day you're getting more confident and sounding better.
Well, thank you.
So that's awesome.
Yeah, I got a little question for you, Bagger. I guess since that loose thread thing came out, I was thinking, what was the loose thread in this one you could have pulled on? Sorry, Sean, I know it's kind of stuck with me. What thinking back to the call, what do you think might have been a loose thread you could have pulled on?
That's a really good question. Maybe more of I don't know, because now I'm thinking about it and I'm like, I realize I'm so new. I don't even know a lot of the strategies. So it's gotten me thinking that also while I'm practicing with you guys and learning a lot, that I should spend some time going back to the Zoom vault and just listening to Pace's Zoom, to Pace's just calls, seller calls, and just listen to them over and over. I haven't done that. So that's when you said strategies, it made me think about.
It's hard to be somebody else. We want you to be yourself. So it's a tool. And I thought it was interesting. You asked a good question. You said, what did you build? The extra 300 feet? What did you build? And he said, a patio. I see that patio as a loose thread because why would you build a patio? Well, maybe he would have gotten talking. It's just a loose thread. It might not lead to anything, but it would have got that conversation going and not the survey sort of format, right? It would have broken that up. It would have given him a chance because he was pushing you away. He's not interested really in selling, but
Yes.
that was a bit of information that he didn't have to reveal, and he did reveal. So I call that like a loose thread, you know? It might not have led anywhere, but look out for those little things to break that up, you know? So,
That's a really good point because what made me even ask what he built, because I was thinking, okay, if you have a house that much, why would you build something extra on top of it? So I was curious why he built, and that's why I asked. And then I was like, a patio. I had the question in my mind, but
right. And that's
and then it just,
natural then. Yes, and then it's natural, isn't it? It's easy. You don't have to think of the script or what would pace do or anything like that. You can be yourself. You're naturally curious, so it'll be a natural conversation.
well, thank you for that. I'm going to definitely keep that in mind.
Just
Great.
yeah.
So here's another thread from that thread, because that when Graham pulled on that thread, then it rattled another thread loose, and now we got to pull on that thread. Patios usually don't add square footage to a house, right? Like a patio, what kind of patio is it? Is it enclosed? Because if it doesn't count as a room, then how did it increase the value of the house, right? Fun fact, landscaping and pools and add-ons to houses generally don't increase the value of a house like adding a bedroom and bathroom would, right? So and Bagu, this is not feedback of like you did this wrong, you didn't, like, I'm just planting seeds for everybody here that to sound more conversational, that's how you sound more conversational, is by staying on topic, right? So here's a pro tip for everybody. When you go from topic to topic to topic, like question, but they're different topics, motivation, timeline, price, condition, boom, 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 that's a questionnaire. Okay. But if I hit you with whatever price, and then you did a great job of staying on price. Oh, is that what house is in there? You said something like, is it worth that much? So a good way to ask that in the script that we practice is, hey, Bagu, is that what similar houses in the area are going for? Or other houses in the area, same size, same condition, same bedroom, bathroom count, going for 700 or 650? No, but that's what I'm looking for because blah, blah, blah. And you did a great job of getting the story out of them, but you can ask that way. And then, so you did a great job of asking a follow-up question. Okay, well, then how did you get to this number? How did you get to 650? Well, that's just what I want, and this and that. And I did just add 300. He said he was very specific. I added 300 square feet to the house, right? With the patio. So then, here's some more questions for everybody to ask. Or let me open it up to the floor, right? Let's get our brains working here. Let's get our juices flowing. What's another question along that line? As Graham puts it, when you pull on that thread, what's another question to pull on that thread a little bit more? He just added 300 square feet to his house. What's another question that I can ask here?
Why did he add the 300 square feet?
Okay, yeah, that could be, yeah. What else?
What was it that he added?
Patio. I added a patio.
Yeah, but like you can ask him. Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
Well, go ahead. We'll tell you. So what else? So I say okay, patio. Then you say what? I want us to think. If you guys can think here, you have time, right? And there's this awkward right now. It's kind of awkward, right? We got 18 people in the room and nobody's coming up with a question. So
I would start with, oh, how nice that is. Well, why? I wouldn't say. I would say, oh, how nice.
That's nice.
That's so pretty. Tell me about it. Something like that, I guess.
Okay.
It's what I'm thinking about when I think about patios, because I love patios.
There's no wrong. Well, there you go. So Jackie's like, hey, this is right up my alley. You know, How did you decorate it? Let's talk about this patio.
Yeah, right. Right. But I'm just thinking why he would, I mean, does he want more space? Was that the idea? Maybe it's enclosed, that's somebody mentioned, you know, is it an enclosed space?
I'm wondering the same thing. But this is good exercise for you guys, because the more you think here, and the next time somebody does this, you're gonna have a list of questions that you can hit. And Bagu, to your point, to get it away from questionnaire and get it to conversations, just one follow-up question per topic makes it way more conversational than questionnaire-ish. Because if I would have just asked one or two follow-up questions on this topic, how could that be scripted? Like that can't be scripted, you know, into a robot where they're like, oh, this person's just going. But when you go question, that's scripted. This gal's just reading off a script, you know, like, because one thing had nothing to do with the next. They're just going straight down a thing, like a checklist, basically.
Well, I think that I speak for myself when I start asking questions, because I'm somebody who, if I meet somebody new, like in a cocktail party, you know, I'll ask them questions to get to know them. You know,
Yeah.
I'll you know, it's just who I am. I don't want to talk about myself. I want to talk about the person that I'm meeting. So, yeah, I think I lost my train of thought, but I think, yeah, yeah, I don't know what I'll get it back. Sorry.
No problem. So a couple other things. Nas put in here, how long ago did you do that? When did you build it? Right? That's a great question. Because like, what if he's like, oh yeah, 18 years ago. I just did it 18 years ago. Like, oh my God. Okay. So who knows what this patio is going to look like, right? Chung put in there, how much did it cost? Like, oh, nice. So guys, always validate though. So the key to questions is validate question, right? Because if you even here, if you just go question, it's still going to look, it's not a good look. But throwing in validation, like, oh, you did a addition 300 foot. Oh, that's awesome. Cool. What did you add on? Right? Boom. That's a validate question. Oh yeah, I added a patio. Ooh, patio. Nice. And then just stop. Like that's a validation, and then you can just stop. That there's an implied question there. Because when I stop, he's gonna talk. He's gonna say something more about it.
And what now I remembered, why do we ask so many questions, right? Sometimes like when I talk to you know, in the real estate world, if I'm talking to, I used to be a real estate agent. So if I'm talking, and sometimes it's out of nervousness, you're talking and you're not listening. I think it's nervousness. I really do. Because I naturally, if I'm relaxed, I want to listen to you. But if I'm a little bit nervous, I think I ask too many questions, and then I lose the whole purpose to being in front of that person.
Okay. That's a great point. And Bagu's brand new to this, so it's going to take a little bit of time, and repetition and practice is going to get her way more comfortable. That's why she's on and making those calls and doing this, so that she can get those for sure. And that'll come with time. It's already happening. Like I can already hear from last week to this, from the last calls to this calls, it's already, I'm seeing improvement. And it's just going to compound. Nobody said the one I got in mind, and this is a really important one. Anybody have one more guess at it before I give you my question?
Yeah. How does adding a patio add $100,000 worth of value? Or it's like 50,000, something like that.
Right. Well, that's a good question. A little aggressive, but yeah, it's a great question. Well, he did answer it. He's like, no, I mean, it's not worth that much. This is what I want, because y'all won't stop calling me. I hope I just sell this damn place and then you'll stop calling me.
I love Nas. I think his name is Nas. Yeah, I loved his question.
Yeah.
I love this question.
Yeah. Yeah. He mentioned that. That was a great question. So here's my question. So the question that I would love to hear asked every time somebody says they did an addition is, was the work permitted? Did you pull permits, and or was this a weekend warrior project that nobody, the county, the city, nobody's gonna recognize the work that you did? Right, that's a very important question. Because if this dude just converted his garage into another bedroom, but he didn't pull permits, I can't count that square footage. I can't. That does nothing for me. In fact, he just created more problems for me. Now I got to go deal with this crap, right? So for that reason, we want to make sure that anytime the topic of additions comes up, validate. Remember, guys, always validate. Oh, addition, nice, cool. What'd you do? What'd you get done? Oh yeah, I added it. Okay. Oh, okay. Right on. Right on. Hey, did you do the work, or did you get a contractor in there? No. Yeah, my cousin's a contractor. He did it. Oh, okay, cool. It's always handy to have a cousin be a contractor. That's for sure. Hey, did your cousin pull permits? Is it permitted work, or like is this recognized in the records? Right. So you guys see how now it doesn't sound rehearsed, right? It's not what do you call it? It's not like scripted, because how could you script that many follow-up questions, right? So that's where you break that mold, and then they know this isn't a script, like they're just having a combo with me right now. But how do we know to ask these questions? You don't know these questions till you do the business and you start to learn, and then you hear these questions like, oh, that's a good one. I want to definitely ask that one next time. Right? That's why we're here. All right, good stuff. Any other feedbacks before I give mine for Bagu? Everybody's like, you haven't even given your feedback yet, dude? Like, what was all that?
Yeah, I got a couple of things. So, starting from the top of the call, the intro, I felt like it was a little slow getting into it. There were some pauses that probably that shouldn't be there, that slowed you down there. I think you did a good job, of course, asking for other properties. That's how you generate leads. So good job there. You also did a really good job of digging further on the timeline. You said, yeah, 2 to 3 months. You didn't just take that for surface level. You said, how come 2 to 3 months? So it's great that you dug there, but I would just say be careful of the phrasing. So instead of how come 2 to 3 months, say, okay, what's going on in 2 to 3 months? That okay is acknowledging what he said, and what's going on in 2 to 3 months. That's an open-ended question. They can't just give you a yes or no. And it's not as like confrontational. Also, you asked, why do you want to buy another property? Just switch out all the whys for what. Because when you use why, a lot of people, it has a negative connotation. Back from when you're a kid, your mom, why did you do that? People just don't typically like it. So when you just ask what has you thinking about selling, it comes off a lot smoother. And then at the end, I think what kind of was the last straw was that inflection. I don't remember the question, but he said like his wife doesn't want to sell, but he would consider selling it. And your like inflection on your voice went super high. Like, she doesn't want to sell it. I think at that point it just felt really disingenuous to him, which was why he probably hung up. I would just say it's a good attempt at tonality. So now you've gone from like, we see you last week where it really wasn't much tonality. Now it was a little too much. So I would say pull it back a little bit, meet right in the middle. And that's where you're going to find your sweet spot. And then all those questions that you're asking are going to land. So that was my feedback, but overall, amazing job. You keep showing up every night. So
yeah. Honestly, that's the most important thing. Bagu is like you're putting in the reps and you keep showing up and doing it. And this is what, your second or third week, right? I think this is basically like the first day of your third week, right? If that.
Yes.
Yeah. So like in the next week, this week, and then into next week, like by the end of next week, it's going to be a night and day, because it's all about comfort. Like you're going to get way more comfortable as you do these, guaranteed. I can already hear it. Do you feel yourself like having to think about what you're going to ask next less than you were, say, a week ago?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. And it's also made me, I'm realizing where I get, and I'm not as nervous. I'm much more calmer now than before. Oh my God. Yeah. And and then the other thing that I've done that's helped really, like in front of my screen, I just said, it's just a conversation. Don't have an end goal.
Right. Yeah.
So.
You have no idea what they're going to say, like what the story of the person is, right? The only thing you guys should be focused at in the very beginning, and the whole purpose of No Excuses program, is just to get your feet wet, just to get you comfortable with what the 4 pillars are in the first place, right? And the only way to do that is just have conversations. And then as you hear these stories, the more you do it, then the more comfortable you get with where you're at in the script. And you're like, oh, I don't have to worry about what comes next, because there's technically no what comes next. It's just, I need to get these 4 main points of info some way throughout this call at some point in some fashion, right? It's not boom, 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 boom. I have to go in this order. If it was like I had to get them in a particular order, then you have to worry about like, oh, I have to steer them into this, but it's not. Like you might ask them a question about motivation, and then price actually comes up during that, and you're like, okay, well, check that box. They just gave me that one, right? You just notate it, and then you're just going on. But then based on what they're saying, then you can ask your other questions, and it gets a lot easier after you guys get. Because here's the thing, and this is true for when we first start, our brain is racing, thinking about like, oh, what am I gonna say? What am I gonna say? It's not about them, it's about me, right? They're gonna stop talking any second now, and then I gotta say something, and I don't know what to say. I better think of something to say. Well, when your brain's working like that, you're not listening to what they have to say, right? So once you get past that first part, things are going to get a lot smoother, right? Then comes the confidence, because now you're not nervous, because you feel confident. Like, yeah, I've done this a bunch of times, and I'm actually hearing this person, and I'm just having a conversation with them, right? Then with that confidence comes the conversation, right? It's all just steps. But kudos for the first thing that you did, and I agree with Ali. Bagu, just practice that first 5 seconds of the intro first. That's the most critical part of the call. Why? Because we can never get to minute 5. We can't do a 5-minute call if we get hung up on in 5 seconds, right? So that first 5 seconds, hey Bagu, this is Shad with the Home Buyers Network. Just calling about your property on Main Street. Like, get really comfortable with that so that you can get it out, and they can sense that like this call is not going to take forever, because like they just addressed multiple things like really quickly. They're looking for me. They addressed me by my name. They told me who they were. They told me who they're calling from, and they told me what they want. Boom, 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 boom. Systematic. Just knocked it out fast. This person's efficient. They're not going to think these thoughts, but it's just a feeling that we give people when we get them on the phone, right? Like everybody here has heard Pace's calls, right? Who here doesn't feel like Pace is in control, and like this is a guy with a message, he's got something to say when he hops on the phone with somebody? He has his stuff together, right? That's this confidence that comes across on the phone. He's so good at it that he actually takes him off course and talks about something very quickly, not related to real estate, right? And then he jumps into the real estate part. That's how good he is. So great feedback, Ali. I agree with that, Bagu. Just focus on practicing your intro on the script. Just get good at our script for now, and then as you get comfortable, then make it your own. Make it whatever you want. It literally doesn't matter at that point, right? You saved this call because this was not a lead of any sort, but you saved it with your follow-up question. So he said, "No, I'm not looking to sell." You're like, "Oh, you're not? Okay." So when you get more comfortable, it can be like, "Oh, you're not? Okay, well, sorry, I don't mean to bother you, take your time or anything, but do you happen to have any other properties?" You asked that, and he's like, "Yeah, actually." And then you started talking about so fantastic job of that. Did anybody else catch how he said 700,000 on the call, and then literally when he had to repeat himself, he said 650? He did a 50K price reduction right then and there, and it took all of 3 seconds. Did you guys catch that? Did anybody pick up on that? So maybe there's more to this story. We don't know, right? Because if he's that,
The 50K drop price, right?
yeah, he went from 7 to 650, like right there, immediately. Maybe he'll go down more if we actually ask the right questions and find out a little bit more. And then who was it that put in the chat? He wants to sell, but the wife doesn't want to sell. Could there be something here where he does want to sell, but the wife doesn't? So that's why he's like, no, we're not selling. Right? Why? There's probably some story there behind that, if that's true. But we won't know until we, talk to him again and let time kind of do its thing. So at Bagu, I gave you the feedback about, you said, is your house, is it worth that much? So that's a little bit of so let's look at this for a quick second, right? That's a subjective question. So, right, because if I ask you, how much is your house worth? He could say 700,000, and maybe to him it is worth 700,000. Can we tell him no, that you're wrong? It's his. I mean, who would be the one that would set the price on his house if he were to sell? Ultimately, at the end of the day, it is him that sets the price, right? Because he doesn't have to sell if he doesn't want to sell, right? So the way that we have it in our script is to take the subjectiveness out of it, and the way to do that is to take the emotion out, take all of the. Hey, Bagu, do you know what houses similar to yours are going for? Same size, same condition in the neighborhood? How much are they going for? Because now we're not talking about your house, and we're not talking about what you want for it, and it has nothing to do with you. Now I'm asking, what is the neighborhood? What are the comps support? It's a different question, right, guys? All right. So sometimes this is a trick that you can use. This is a tool that you can use when you have somebody that's really guarded. Everybody here, if you're making calls, you talk to the person that's guarded with their price. Well, you called me, you give me your price, right? They either don't know the price, and usually they do. They're just worried about giving it because they don't want to leave money on the table. So how do we overcome that? Don't ask them about their house. Ask about the neighbor's house. Right? How much are houses in the area? You know the neighborhood better than I do at this point. What are houses going for in the area? Right? We're taking all the emotion and we're taking everything out. Now they don't have to worry about leaving money on the table because we're not asking about that house. We're asking about the neighborhood. Great question about the 2 to 3 month thing, because that is a very specific time frame. So we do want to know what happens in 2 to 3 months. Right, because that is a specific, so maybe there's an event or something happening or something. So that would be another question or another thing to ask. But all in all, Bagu, great job. That was really good. I think we lost her. She was driving. Great conversation, or a great call to get conversational and get more comfortable on the phones. So. Good stuff. Guys, we have a couple new team members. I wanted to do that intro because it really is about the intro, right? So Jose, I think we did yours the other day, and you're very confident on the phones already. But Celeste, are you there?
I'm there.
Hi. Hi.
I know you're here, Jose. But you're already overly confident on the phone, so we're good. We're gonna work on Celeste for the next couple minutes. Celeste, do you have the copy of the script? Our script?
I'm sorry. Earlier I had a call, which is he is an investor, and then and I gathered all the information, like the gathered the information about if he fix and flip or buy and hold, and then got our information and their buying criteria, which is buybacks, and the location in which he wants to buy, which is in the Central Texas.
Yeah.
And then the property type, which is a small property. He wants to use small property and multifamily duplexes.
Yes.
And I also asked him about the budget, and he answered that it depends on the condition of the house. If it needed about the renovation, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
and also got um his email address, by the way.
Beautiful. That's perfect.
Hmm.
So here's what I want to do. I just dropped the intro because going back to what we were talking about a second ago, the intro of the call, the first 5 seconds is by far the most important part of the call because if we don't get our foot in the door, we don't get into the call in the first place. So because we have a little bit different script, I want you to just practice just that part with me, just
Yeah,
that part, nothing else. You don't have to do the whole call. We're not doing a whole role play. We're just doing this intro. Right? So
the intro. Okay.
let's just practice that real quick. I want to show you
Mhm.
guys a couple things.
Ring ring.
Hello?
Hi, this is Celeste with the local home buyers, and I was actually calling about your property located on 123 Main Street, and we're a real estate investor. I just wanted to see if you have considered possibly selling.
Maybe. What's your offer?
Mm-hmm. That's great questions. And
Okay, that's good.
um,
I just want to do this intro, and that's the only thing here.
great question. And we haven't run any numbers yet, and we wanted to gauge your interest in selling first. Having said that, do you have a number in mind you would like to get for your property?
No. So that's good. We're we'll break roll here. I just want to focus on this first part of the call.
Mhm.
We're going to give some feedback. Who has feedback for Celeste on that? If you guys are getting that call, what feedback would you give?
I think it was quite long, a little long. Could be a little summarized on the intro. And yeah, active listening. You were saying to stop the roleplay, and she went like answering.
All right, it's just nervousness. Yeah, I know. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah, no worries. Yeah.
she's just like, I'm gonna kill this script right now, y'all. Check this out.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely. So one tip I'll give you, Celeste, at the beginning of the call, like you want to say that person's name because it's important because if you leave the name out, if you don't have it, then it doesn't give them the chance to correct us, right? Because if you're calling for Kelly and then I answer, I guess Kelly could be a guy's name, so that's a bad example. But if you're calling Samantha and then a guy answers, you probably don't have Samantha, right? So when we say the person's name, they're going to correct us when it's wrong, right? So since technically we don't even hear the hello, right? Because of the way our dialer's set up, you don't hear anything. All you see is like the screen pop open and it's like it's go time and it's your turn to go. The reason for that is because they've already said hello. That's what triggered the call to connect in the first place. So we got to hit it right off the bat. Hey, Celeste, this is Todd with the Home Buyers Network. I like to come in with that level of energy. Hey, Celeste, it sounds very friendly and like you know the person, right? So listen to the difference here. Like, hey, Celeste, this is Shad from the Home Buyer versus, hi, Celeste. Which one sounds like I actually know you? And which one sounds like I'm probing to see if I got the right person? You guys see the difference? So now let's
Yeah.
try this. Hi, is Celeste available? Hi, can I speak with Celeste, please? You guys see all these differences, right? You guys we gotta come in with, hey, Jose, because how many people have been at a party or been somewhere? This is my nightmare. Like I hate when this happens. I walk in somewhere, Shad, hey, how's it going? And I'm like, oh my God, who is this person? I don't know. Where did I meet this person? Why do they know me and I don't know them? Oh man, am I dumb? What's going on? Where did I meet that? Your brain is racing. Who's felt that before in your life? Raise your hand if you felt that before. All right. Allie has never felt that because she's like, I remember everybody. I know everybody. And more importantly, everybody knows me. All right, guys. So the point is, if you've ever felt like that in life, that's exactly what we want in this moment. Why? Because it's a pattern interrupt. Because what they're expecting is, hi, can I speak to Shad, please? And they're like, what do I know right then and there? I know that this person doesn't know me. They're probably a telemarketer. They're probably trying to sell me something that I probably don't want or need. And I don't have time for this. I'm out. Boom, click, hang up. Right? Versus, hey, Shad. And I'm like, oh, here goes my brain. Oh my God, who is this? I'm trying to connect the voice to the thing. Like, who do I know? Da, 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 da. While I'm doing that, that buys you enough time to get to the next thing. This is, because they're going to ask you, who is this? So don't let them ask you. Just say it. This is, tell them the answer. This is Shad calling from the home buyer. Because then what's the next question they're going to say once we have that? What do you want? What do you want, Shad? I'm from the Home Buyers Network. I want to see if you thought about possibly selling your house. You guys see how now we're just checking off the boxes, boom, 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 systematically. We just checked off 4 boxes in 5 seconds. That's why we run that script, because I don't know of a more efficient way to get through that first part of that call, check off more boxes and have no questions coming back at me, so I can get to the meat and potatoes of why I called, which is, are you thinking about selling your house? Because that's the real question. That's the only thing that really, to me, that's the only thing that really matters. Because if you're looking to sell, great, I want more info. If you're not looking to sell, do you have any other properties? No? Okay. Well, there's nothing here. I'm out. I'm out. You don't have to hang up on me. I'm about to hang up on you. We're done here. Right? So that's why I just want to focus on the first 5 seconds. One more time. So let's do it one more time. This just comes with reps, everybody. This is why I told Bagu, focus on your intro. This is why Ali gave the feedback, focus on your intro, and everybody. And when you get to lead manager, you got to get real good at that intro. And then when you go to acquisitions, you got to get really good at every department will have its own. You got to get good at that part. So that's from the top. Let's just do that one part here and get comfortable with that, please. Also, pro tip, leave out the numbers. 6408 Magnolia. When you call somebody and it's the right number, they know the numbers. They know what address they live at. So if you just told me the street name, I already know the rest of it. And it doesn't sound rehearsed or scripted, right? Because if you're talking to your cousin or your neighbor or your friend, somebody that you actually know, do you ever tell them, hey, Celeste, are you still looking to sell your house on 123 Main Street? No. Or are you going to say, hey, Celeste, you still looking to sell your house on Main Street? You still selling that thing? Right? We don't say the numbers when we know somebody. They know their house. In fact, we're probably going to say the city name. Like, hey, Celeste, you still looking to sell your house in Dallas? Right? So for that reason, we put the numbers into the script for you just so that it's in front of you, but skip that part. You guys just read the street name only. It sounds less robotic and less rehearsed. So let's do one more.
Ring ring.
Hello.
Hi, Shad. Good afternoon. This is Celeste with the local home buyers. I was calling about your property on 123 Main Street, and we're real estate investors. I just wanted to see if you have considered possibly selling.
Okay, a little bit better. Yeah, just keep practicing it, right? Pull out your phone or get in front of the mirror and just keep practicing it. You did say the numbers again, though. Leave the numbers out. So right now you have muscle memory of your script, like your way of doing it. Trust me when I tell you, like, we've done this a million bajillion times, and it's going to just be a lot smoother, right? If it comes like that, right? So from all these little subtleties, the energy to catch you off guard, where you're like, oh, who is this? Like, who am I? And then hit them with that. Hey, Celeste. Right? That tone is really, hey, Celeste. This is Shad from the Home Buyers Network. I was calling about your property on Main Street, right? And then even the pauses and the timings, right? There's a whole cadence to it as well, right? Because I'll do it. Hey, Celeste, this is Shad from the Home Buyers Network. So I was calling about your property on Main Street versus, hey, Celeste, this is Shad from the Home Buyers Network. I was calling about your property. All of these things matter, guys. So pay a lot of attention to it, because it's all psychology. It all matters. We don't really pay attention to it much, right? Because we think what we say is so important, and it is. But just as important is how we say it. The tone, the cadence, all of these things matter, especially in that first 5 seconds. Cool. Any questions real quick before we wrap up for tonight?
Yeah, was Bagoo's lead, was that an interested or no?
I don't know. Did she mark that as interested, guys? QA?
Yes, Shad.
That is interested? Okay, there you go, Ali.
So, yeah, what could be really fun is I'll have one of the lead managers call it tomorrow, and we'll listen to how they approach that call. So you
Ooh.
guys will kind of have a reference
Ooh,
and see how that conversation goes. So we'll hit that guy up all day. I'll have either, some of the certified killers get on the phone and see what they can get. So tune in for that tomorrow.
who's gonna tune in to see how that story unfolds? Anybody gonna come back tomorrow? I want to hear if this guy actually wants to sell or if he was just like, what was going on? We'll see tomorrow. That'd be awesome. That's a great idea, Ali. And so tomorrow night, Ali's going to be running the show. Hopefully, we'll have that call, so she'll break down the lead manager acquisitions part of it all. I'm sure she'll have some other nuggets to drop on you guys. Tuesdays is acquisition night, and then also Thursday night. So Wednesday night it'll be Cody and Graham. They're going to do role play and they're going to be doing their show. Thursday night we have a special guest, James Crenshaw, CPA expert, will be in. He'll be coming in here to talk about taxes and all that fun stuff, our favorite subject. It is that time of year to do taxes and all that. So he is a certified CPA. He's going to talk about real estate taxes, and just tax and all that fun stuff in general. So that'll be Thursday night. So if you guys know anybody that needs help with any of that stuff or has questions, that'll be the Zoom for that. So cool. I hope you guys got some value from tonight. We're all set for today, but we'll be back mañana.
All right, awesome. All right, good night, guys.
Bye, guys. Have a good night, everybody. Peace.
Night, everybody. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Guys.
Yes.